What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we have a huge Destiny 2 update dropping in the game, and this is the mid-season patch for Season 20, which is no doubt the biggest update that we've had for the game since Lightfall, and so, in the video today, we're going to break down a bunch of the changes coming, and these include updates to quests and accessing exotics, even more changes to Guardian ranks, as well as updates for quality of life and various bug fixes. But on top of that, there'll also be some PvP changes, a couple of new rewards to chase, and we have activity and playlist updates, as well as a series of weapon tuning changes, including buffs, a couple of minor nerfs, exotic adjustments, and more, which we'll break down in the video. So as always, I hope you guys find this one helpful. But firstly, if you do enjoy the content here on the channel, then be sure to check out our new merchandise in the form of some epic Houndish socks and bottle covers. This is a crowdfunded style campaign with Freaker USA, who've designed us some really neat awesome day socks, as well as our new exotic boot-themed boss stomper socks, and even an awesome Houndish-themed bottle cover and sippy to keep your hands all comfy when you're sipping something sweet. And so if you guys feel like showing your support for this, it would absolutely make my day, as it is a limited edition design, so it's only available for 30 days, and after that, it'll be gone forever. Even better though, if you pick up the 4-pack, you can use discount code HOTSAUCE at checkout to get 25% off the order. And so if you want to unlock some unique loot, be sure to check out the link below. And as always, I appreciate all of you guys and the support you show on the channel. But otherwise, let's get into the update today. So this is update 705, which will be dropping at Tuesday, April 18th's weekly reset time. And to preview a bunch of the changes, initially, for some of the general updates, Bungie have said that solo and master dungeon raid completions not being retroactive for Guardian rank 11 isn't an intended thing, and there'll be a fix for this in the update today, which will retroactively unlock those objectives. So if you've been working on that, it's a positive. But other general fixes include a fix to interact with the evidence board, which allows players to obtain the Throne World exotic glaives, as there has been a bug with that one, so if you've been stuck on that quest, we should be able to progress after the patch today. And as Bungie outlined a few days ago, they'll be introducing a new commendation in the update, which is Best Dressed. And this is a new commendation for activities that are match-made, and Bungie have said you won't be able to give it inside of raids, dungeons, or trials. But if you see a Guardian rocking some juicy threads, or new Houndish socks, for example, then you'll be able to give them the Best Dressed commendation. Next though, a small activity update right here, and Bungie say they understand that Heist Battlegrounds feel tough right now, and so in Heist Battleground Mars they'll be decreasing how often combatants spawn at higher difficulties in the Towers phase, but they're also increasing the map score multiplier to help players reach score goals, and they're adding an additional ammo crate. That's actually going to be the Nightfall this week, so we'll immediately be able to see what those updates are about. But other Heist Battleground changes include reducing the frequency and number of some of the combatant waves in all boss fights, as well as reducing the health of Death Tongue choristers. And then Hive Runes will now have the same health on all difficulties, and they'll be thinning out the Fallen Trip Mines in the Moon Heist Battleground. So a few positive changes if you're running those activities as well. Next though, we do have a couple of PvP updates. And so firstly, Bungie have said, with the mid-season patch, Lord Shaxx will have a new emblem for competitive if you're Ascendant 3 or higher. This will come with a stat tracker that allows you to put your current competitive division rank number on PvP emblems. And there's a preview of what that emblem will look like. But on top of that, with the patch, Clash will be leaving the Quick Play playlist, and so Quick Play will revert simply to Control again, and they say that playlist will be replaced by Iron Banner when it's active. And both of those playlists will continue to use loose skill-based matchmaking, but they will make some small adjustments to the matchmaking parameters. So hopefully that will improve the experience, and they say on top of that they're splitting the current rotator into 2 separate playlists. Both of these will use connection-based matchmaking, and so there'll be the Relentless Rotator, which includes Clash, Rift, and Zone Control, and they see this as the main place for players who want to engage with large team-based gameplay. But they add that the Relentless Rotator will be replaced when Trials of Osiris is active. And then separately, there'll be the Crucible Party Rotator, which includes Mayhem, Scorched, and Momentum Control. And it's generally the place for modes that significantly modify the general sandbox. So a couple of minor updates right there to PvP. Give us your thoughts about them down below. But up next, we get onto the all-important weapon changes, which are a significant part of the patch today. And a bunch of weapons will see increased damage against red and orange bar enemies in PvE. So that includes auto rifles, which are going to see an increase in damage by 25% against those combatants. But on top of that, there'll be a 20% damage buff to pulse rifles, hand cannons, and sidearms. And then we'll see a 10% buff for scout rifles. Keep in mind that those are generic changes to those archetypes, so it affects both legendary and exotic weapons. And it should make a few weapons feel more viable, as well as making some already very good weapons feel even better. So let us know which weapons you're looking forward to trying out with that buff. On top of that, they are making a couple of adjustments to specific weapons, and for the Ikelos SMG, they say they're removing some tuning on the scope that allows the weapon to have significantly less recoil than intended, and the recoil should now be in line with other aggressive frame SMGs. So it will be taken down a notch. But additionally, rapid-fire frame fusion rifles will see increased damage in PvP, so they've upped the burst damage by 15, and the damage per burst goes from 245 to 260, with the damage per bolt going from 27.2 to 28.9. So that should increase their viability just a little bit. And on top of that, there are trace rifle changes, and they say they're increasing base damage by 4%, but also reducing the precision hit multiplier from 1.4 times to 1.35 times. So critical damage in PvP will go from 16.8 to 16.9. And they're increasing the effectiveness of stability at reducing flinch by 10% at 100 stat. So having higher stability in general will reduce flinch ever so slightly. On top of that though, there is a broad change for rapid-fire frame sniper rifles, where they're reducing recoil by 50%, and they're increasing the total ammunition, including the magazine and reserve ammo, by 30%. So it'll be fun to try those out a little bit. But on top of that, they've outlined specific changes to certain exotic weapons, and a small one for Final Warning, but it will no longer be able to mark targets through barricades. That wasn't something that was intended. Then for the aggressive exotic SMG Taraba, they've said that they are reducing the amount of Ravenous Beast energy which is generated when taking damage, and it'll go from 3% to 1%. Plus they're reducing the zoom from 16 to 15. So they're reining it in just a little bit right there. But on top of that, Revision 0 is going to see a couple of different changes, and that includes that 4th times the charm will now reset when entering Hunter's Trace, and that'll prevent the issue of firing a single shot while in Hunter's Trace and being forcibly returned to pulse rifle mode when 4th times the charm activates. However, they are also increasing the PvE damage of the Hunter's Trace rounds by 25%, and upping the PvE damage of the Hake Burst rounds by 75%. So a couple of those changes are relatively significant, and as far as we know, they will be on top of the base pulse rifle damage chains against red and orange bar enemies, so it's certainly a weapon that should feel pretty different once that update drops. Of course, when we get the patch notes though, it's likely that there will be a few other changes included, so as always, I'll be sure to keep you posted on that, but for any folks who wanted a quick heads up about the changes we're going to get later on today, hopefully the video has been useful. So guys, as always, I hope you've enjoyed this one, and if you have, a rating down below really does help us out on the channel. Also, let us know what you're looking forward to most with the patch today. There are of course a few interesting changes there. Otherwise though, if you're new to the channel, feel free to get subscribed and I'll keep you posted. Plus, if you want to check out some dope Houndish socks, the link for that is down below. And once again, any support on that really does help us out on the channel. But otherwise guys, as always, I appreciate you watching, and I hope you have an awesome day.